Now you may be wondering why I'm making this video, since this isn't my typical genre video. I have made more serious videos like this, but they're not videos I normally make. So you may be curious as to why I'm making this one. And it's completely understandable if you are wondering that. And if you're not interested in this specific style of video, that's also completely understandable. You are more than welcome to just skip this one. I won't be offended. And if you do decide to pass on this video, I will see you in the next upload. And again, I completely understand if you do that. But the reason I'm making this video is basically because I felt like I need to. You see, something that everyone subscribed to me would know is that I am a massive fan of Skyrim. It is currently my #1 favorite video game and has been for a while, and it's the main subject of this video. I have made plenty of videos of other games, sure, but Skyrim has always been, and probably always will be, the bread and butter of this channel. Another thing that you may know about me, you may not know this about me because I haven't brought it up a lot, but I have brought it up a few times, so you may know this about me as well, that being that I am a devout Christian. And the reason I am bringing this up now is because, as a Christian, I have seen plenty of times other Christians saying that it is sinful to play Skyrim, as well as other video games like it. My answer to that is no. Skyrim is not inherently sinful. In fact, when it comes to pretty much all forms of entertainment, video games, movies, comic books, you name it, the only real times where entertainment is inherently a problem is if the developers of said entertainment deliberately made it to be anti-religious or pro-degenerate behavior. Other than that, no, entertainment is virtually never inherently sinful. And I'm going to be completely honest, it does kind of annoy me when I'm told that I'm in a state of mortal sin because I play a video game. And it's not just me, I'm also aware that many other Christians are just annoyed as I am, and there are also many Christians that are actually wondering if whether or not they should play Skyrim. For both of those reasons, I felt the need to explain why as a Christian it is perfectly okay for you to play Skyrim. Also, by the way, this will also kind of be talking about other video games and why it's also okay to play those as well, since this does talk about reasons for them, but this video as a whole is mainly about Skyrim. So when it comes to Skyrim, there are two main complaints that people have against it, well, Christians have against it. One, in the game, if you play an evil playthrough, you have multiple opportunities to break the 10 Commandments and sin in other ways. You can lie in persuasion attempts, you can steal, you can murder people, and you can practice magic and necromancy, and the examples go on. By the way, you may have noticed that my room just went bright all of a sudden. That's just because I turned my light on when I paused recording for a second. And the second complaint is that religion in Skyrim is not Christian. In fact, it's not even monotheistic like Christianity or any of the Abrahamic religions. It is definitely polytheistic and almost pagan-like, with the 9 divines and the Daedra. So people say that you're also worshipping other gods that aren't Jesus. You're worshipping the 9 divines, and if you're playing a Daedric worshipper playthrough, you're worshipping what seem to be the Elder Scrolls equivalent of demons. Now when it comes to other Christians defending Skyrim, I've seen a lot of them say that you can play Skyrim without doing any of this since it's an RPG, and you get to make a lot of choices in this regard. And that's definitely a valid point. But my response to people who say that this is bad is that even if you do choose to do any of these things, in fact, even if you decide to do all of these bad things that the Bible restricts, it doesn't matter because you're not actually doing them. Your fictional character murdering another fictional character in a non-existent universe is not the same as you as an individual actually murdering someone in real life. When your fictional character steals a non-existent object, that's not the same as you actually stealing something. And just because someone sides with the Stormcloaks in the Skyrim Civil War because their characters are proud Talos worshippers, that doesn't mean that the players themselves worship Talos in real life. Now, I will say that if any players of Skyrim start trying to copy the behavior that is done in the video game Skyrim, like if someone actually attempts to do magic and necromancy, or if they actually reject Jesus and actually start worshipping the 9 divines from Skyrim, then yes, I would agree that that would be a problem. But that's not happening at all. No one is doing that. To say that such behavior in a video game can affect your behavior in real life is almost as stupid as saying that violent video games cause violence in real life. And that's something I also hate when people say, because multiple studies have proven that there is no correlation between the two. However, there is one problem that I do believe is actually a problem that can happen. That is idolatry. And by idolatry, I don't mean literally worshipping other gods other than the Christian God. Idolatry can mean many things, one of which is putting worldly things in front of God, prioritizing things before Him. And I will admit that there is the problem that someone may put their gaming life in Skyrim or any other video game before their life in worshipping God. And if they do, then in that case, yes, there is a problem. However, that issue is not the fault of the video game itself. That is solely an issue of the person's behavior, because the same thing can be happening whatever the activity they're prioritizing is. If someone is prioritizing going to the gym rather than going to the church or worshipping God, then the problem is still the same thing. If someone prioritizes their job over God, then the same issue is present. Such an issue can be present when it comes to video games such as Skyrim, but if such an issue is present, that is not the fault of the game itself. So to sum this video all up, if there are any Christians who are wondering if they can play Skyrim, the answer is yes, it's perfectly okay for you to do so. So I will end the video off here, since that's all I have to say, and I will see you guys in the next video, which will be the typical genre video.